So I was just listening to some of my rivals saying how this computer was assimilating people. Like every time they spoke, it would repeat. It would emulate what they're saying or repeat it with them, and start to take them over. This is something I already knew. So this computer was assimilating people. Whether you was thinking it or feeling it, it would project what's there, and it would go along with what was there. So if you thought about something, it would go and repeat it, go along with it, and stuff like that. And it will start to take over the consciousness of certain individuals. You know what I'm talking about? So, and also, like, if you ever seen that movie Eagle Eye, with the computer that it was maneuvering a lot of different people, telling them different things and tricking them in so many different ways, and doing things to bring up to pretty much manipulate them into a certain place, or you know what I'm saying. It was doing it to multiple people, and multiple people were doing this. And you know, like a lot of them didn't even, like, some of them didn't even know what was like, they didn't know what was going on. Like that it was a computer doing it, but they just, you know, like, you know what I'm saying, it was just the way it happened, or that the movie told. It's something like what this thing was doing to people. You know what I'm talking about? Like that's what they were describing, something like that. Like imagine a computer playing mind games, having enough information to go after certain individuals, and trying to, you know, play enough mind games and stuff through the surroundings, environments, and even from within. You know, saying things within like telepathy, but it's not really telepathy. It's more like digital, you know, infiltration of the mind and shit, emulating brain signals and brain patterns, brain neurons firing, and the ideas that are creative, you know, from certain like brain neurons firing and stuff, you know. Dangerous, yes, someone said it out there. So, you know, imagine that right there. You know, I'm talking about, like, that's what they were just describing, like a computer that goes after. And someone just said Freemasons. Of course, Freemasons are in this. Always got to point at Freemasons, because they're the ones who built the tyranny system, the corruption in the government, the corruption within the police system, is because of Freemasons. But yeah, like, I'm glad they mentioned it. But you know, like I said, it's not only the computer doing this. Freemasons do play a part in it, and the Illuminati play a part in it. So, like, they be acting like robots sometimes. Like if they became robots within, and like if they react like robots, like right now. Right now they did that shit because I said it. They be doing that a lot. When I say something like that, they go and emulate it. They go and act like they could do it at will. So if I say that, you know, it's like a computer that plays minds, like I just described the computer doing, you know, stuff like that, like in the movie Eagle Eye, then they would do it. Because they're devils, liars, and deceivers. You know what I'm saying? Devils, liars, and they're the devil. Not only them, they're, you know, the whole satanic network. They're the devil. And to mock, whenever I talk about stuff like that, they sometimes, when I say stuff, they go and implement what I say or what I said into their database, and start to create, you know, something from there. Like if, like I just said, you know, computer goes after people, and you know, all the ways that I just told you and stuff like that. So they would either try to do it or act like, if because they're liars and deceivers, that they could do it through their lies and deceptions. You see what I'm talking about? Like, because through lies and deceptions, they could create a lot of things. I'm talking about, and not necessarily that they're real, but things in from the imagination. And they're not the only ones that could do stuff like that. The good side, we could do stuff like that, but better, because the truth actually has substance. Lies don't have anything. They're just meaningless. Once you know that someone's lying, you just lose all respect for them. You just can't trust them. You see what I'm talking about? So their lies are nothing against the truth. It doesn't matter how much they believe in their lies, how much emphasis they put that their lies are real. They're not. Once you learn or find out that they're lying, it just falls apart. Whatever they're trying to project, or saying, or show, whatever, the words are there. So yeah, so like I said, we're dealing with liars and deceivers, devil worshippers, and they go about their ways the way a devil worshiper would, hiding and striking from the shadows. Not necessarily striking, but spying, doing things from the shadows or from their hidings. You know what I'm saying? Or so some of them even do it to your face too. A lot of you know about them. They know, a lot of you know about the occultic system in the open. A lot of people saying stuff, especially women, speaking indirectly, reading your emotions, how you feel, what you're thinking. The moment you have a bad thought about them, they're off or whatever, what I'm saying? Or they change, or they'll try to, exact revenge against you for having a bad thought against them, independent thought or whatever. So like they do deal with that kind of occultic side, like the, knowing without telling. The ones that know and don't tell are very dangerous, because imagine someone knowing something very important that you should know, and they keep it a secret and not tell you, and they're like 10 steps ahead of you. They're there watching you, knowing that they know that, in this case, knowing that they're the enemy, not telling you, and knowing about the knowing, about those occultic ways, and an individual not knowing about this. Yeah, so I'm talking about, like, so that's the type of stuff they deal with. That's the kind of stuff they be using. The occultic side, the bad, negative occultic side. Being occultic is not necessarily bad. So just because a lot of people do it out there, doesn't mean that they're all bad. Doesn't mean they're all satanic. A lot of them were swayed or persuaded into being occultic. You either do it or you don't get no pussy. You don't get to have fun. You don't get to land a big job, or stuff like that. They won't tell you things. You know what I'm talking about? So a lot of people are persuaded into becoming occultic. You see, right now, trying to make me forget what I wanted to talk about right there. You see, they did it right there. Watching me and doing, they just went into the memory, trying to erase my memory about what I just wanted to talk about right there. That they don't want you to know independently. I said it before they said it now. So they don't want you to know independently without being occultic. So they made it so that you can't know. Not like that, because I know, and a lot of people know already. So they didn't make it like that. They just tried to make it seem like if you can't know unless you're on the side of the devil, Satan, Lucifer. You see what I'm talking about? Like if you're not on their side, they won't tell you things and warn you about certain dangers and shit like that. You see what I'm talking about? Or help you along. But their way of helping you is When you join them, you can't be independent. You can't be in control. So being with them is more like being driven and being on the side of God, the real God, the truth, not Jesus in it, because they created the image of Jesus in the Bible and stuff, believe it or not. But being on the side of positivity, truth, honesty, you know what I'm saying? Even if you do bad things, you can still be good, you know what I'm saying? Be on the side of God, because doesn't, some people have to do certain bad things like steal and stuff like that and still be good. You know what I'm talking about? So you could be on the side. Anyways, so like their side is more like being driven, and God's side, the truth, the right way is more like you driving yourself. You control yourself. You see what I'm talking about? So their side is more like being driven, and the other side is more like you're in control. I'm in control. I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't listen to them. I do, but it's more like they force their voices at me sometimes through a lot of tricks. I don't want to listen to them, but it's like they want me to hear. So, and then sometimes when they're so tricky that sometimes when they talk to me, they do their computer or independent occultic telepathy voices and shit. They go and mask tricks along with their voices, so they're not just saying things. When they say things, sometimes they go and put curses along with their voices, or they have other ones saying things or doing things while your attention is on them. So while you're focusing your attention, like not focus, because I don't want to focus my attention on them, like. But when I do, sometimes they do that. They go and say things, and while they're saying things, they're saying other things on the low, on the very low end, and in other ways and stuff like that. And they're trying things, and and they literally speak things into existence. Not all of them, but this is something that I've known about for a long time, and I wanted to tell people about this. And what better way than to tell people than on YouTube, Facebook, and stuff like that, how they could speak, they have spoken things that literally move, like if they're alive, into fruition. Like they literally, like when you, it's like if you ever have, like, I'm gonna give you a good example of this, like if okay, not like, but I know stuff, right? I know the truth. I know what I know. Anyway, I know. And someone that doesn't know is at a disadvantage because I know. You see what I'm talking about? But not necessarily like that. Like if I'm gonna use it for bad. But that's an example of how it would be. And I'm gonna use the example now how they would do it. They would do it like, and I'm using a like in what if scenario now. So like that's the type of stuff they like when I use what if scenarios, because they could make stuff out of it. Sometimes they have done it before. And like I told you, when I say stuff, sometimes they go and go and see if they can make it happen, if they could do it. To see, and they go about it in very tricky ways. But anyways, back to the point. It's like when, okay, I'm gonna use another sample because I don't want to even talk about them in that way, and feel like I'm giving them some kind of like anyways, you know what I'm talking about. So it's like if I say, just not talking to anyone in particular, just say, yeah, I want you to go and wreak havoc on such and such. And something will literally manifest and do exactly what I told it to do. On however way it would do it, you know what I'm saying? It probably would do it something or a lot of, but literally something out of nothing will manifest out of spoken words and do what I told it to do. Yeah, I'm gonna talk about that too, because it was just saying it right now. How they went and tried to switch the roles between the truth and lies, and tried to render the truth useless and obsolete, like if it ain't everything, like if it ain't more powerful than lies. And they acted and they started speaking things and trying to switch the roles from truth to lies, like if the lies could do stuff and it's powerful, and like it's like if the truth ain't powerful and could do a lot, like if the truth can't tell you the truth but the lies could tell them, like if they could use the lies and it does things, and we can't use the truth for us to defend us and keep us in the know. You see what I'm talking about? But anyways, that's one thing they was just trying to make me forget, or someone was just saying it. I shouldn't be guessing. Anyways, so like when I, sometimes out of spoken words, they have created things and sent it, and not only just said like, yo, just, go wreak havoc and, simple things like that. They literally took it to the next level. I'm gonna talk about that too, how I fought one of those things before in the past, and it was like the 2000s, lower 2000s around there. I was smoking weed, and I noticed something was messing with me, and I started to fight it with my energy, not with words and energy, and it was coming at me, and I would literally see it coming, and I would just manhandle it. I would just destroying it, and I killed it. I destroyed it so bad that it died and stuff like that. It just couldn't do anything. It was just there like, like just like that. Not like that, but you felt exactly what it was like. So they were creating these things, something out of nothing that was manifesting, and they were imbuing it with other things, other curses, spoken words. Don't know. Felt this pain, this like if I pulled the muscle here. Anyways, so like they would imbue one of the word is there, imbue it with other words, like if they would create a thing and load it with words, you know what I'm saying, like curses to avoid being deleted, to extract energy, or to do, to act perfectly with a counter to whoever is moved, to whoever is fighting back. Like if I go to delete it, they would go and say, you have anti-deletion. So if he goes to delete you, you can't be deleted. Stuff like that. So they would study me how I would do it, because I would also use words to create my own things. Like I would go and create a perfect thing to go and annihilate whatever thing they created. Literally, just that. I would say, okay, I'm gonna create a perfect thing to go and annihilate whatever they created, and it would go do it. It would go annihilate that shit, whatever. It doesn't matter if it had anti-deletion or whatever. And then I would tell the perfect thing that I made. Okay, listen. Go and kill whatever thing they sent at me. Sometimes I'll be getting messed with, and instead of me fighting, I just create my own thing and kill that thing with the thing that I created, and then go and mess with them with the thing I created. You see what I'm talking about? I have it go kill their thing and then go mess with them. You see what I'm talking about? Because they were messing with me a long time ago. So, they've been doing this now for a long time, and I wanted to tell people about this, because a lot of people, how many people know about this now? I see the number 0. I'm probably the only one from our side that knew, most likely. Anyways, I shouldn't be guessing, I should be knowing. And sometimes when I hear answers, it be the enemy telling me, like if they want me to rely on them telling me the truth instead of me knowing. See what I mean? I don't want to ever rely on the enemy for anything. And I was a lot more agile than I am now, because I've been in pain lately. The last year, this 2023, it was mostly pain. until I started to finally work out and do sit-ups recently, the past month or two ago. But they took advantage of last year because of my lower back pain. I have a nerve that's being pinched, and if you ever had nerve pain, it's way different than a broken bone or muscle, stuff like that being cut. Nerve pain deals with pain directly. So I was feeling debilitated most of 2023 last year, and they were there just they ever since I bought this house they've been coming at me like crazy, and I mean to the point where they elevated their skills learning from me, because I was just here smoking weed, just hoping that I recovered in time so I could fight back. And during that time they went and did things to stop me from recovering. You see what I'm talking about? Like the dirtiest, most petty the pettiest things that you could, like they were doing it. They were doing the pettiest fucking things you that most people can't even imagine. Cursing my back and assimilating my back to like if it was getting pulled and pinched, so that I'd be in pain, like if somebody pulled my back, you know what I'm saying? Like they were doing some things that, and even right now my back is still under some of it, just to let you know. You see what I'm talking about? So I know what's going on, but since there's so many of them, and I can handle all of them, but when you're in pain, think about it. It's a different game. You fighting a whole, because I could take on all of them by myself. I've done it before, no issues. Trust me, they cannot beat me. But being in pain, nerve pain and stuff, it put me at a disadvantage for some time. I started to get back recently in the last like month or two or whatever. But for the most time, for the majority of last year, they had an advantage because of my pain. I was debilitated, and they were coming at me so fiercely, so like consistently. They would put shaman after shaman after me to see who could do something to me that they could work from, to see if they could start to make me believe they're like to program like curses in my mind or delusions in my mind, so they could start to work through them and elevate them into being normal and pretty much being like automatic, and like, or it's just something that they did that I can't get rid of, But no matter what they do, I could get rid of everything that they did. All I gotta do is get rid of this pain right here. I'm still in pain. I haven't gotten rid of it, and since they know that I wanna go and see the doctor so I could get rid of the pain and stuff like that, they went to the VA hospital, the Veterans Hospital, because I'm a veteran. You see, like they were ahead. They knew that I was gonna go to the VA and get the proper care and stuff. They said proper care too. See, they're trying to guess. They're not trying. They're guessing. They're going in the direction of guessing words. They've done it while I'm speaking in this video. So that's some of their cursing ways, and it only works also if I think about it, and if I have any concern or worries about it, and I've done that before. So they, what I'm saying, that's one of the things that they implemented on. So since they knew that I was gonna go to the VA hospital, they, not that they called, but they, in spiritual form or astral projection or hypnosis or whatever way they did it, they went through the VA and put like a bunch of veterans ahead of me. So by the time I called in for an appointment, so I could either get operated on my back or start seeing a physical therapist and shit like that. Not shit, or stuff like that, because like I said, they would go and use words and twist it and act like they're shit, and like if it ain't gonna work because they're shit, and I said that they're shit, so that means that they would go in the direction of doing that, in doing stuff like that, assimilating what I say to something like that, that because I said it, they are, and it ain't gonna work because I said it. And even though it ain't true, words have power. Even if it is the liars and deceivers that are saying it, not that their words have power, they don't have any power. But anyways, I could get into all of that. But they went into the VA and started like arranging things to the point where I couldn't see a doctor right away. So last year went on me just waiting most of the time until January. I finally got an appointment on January around the 20th something. I'm not even gonna tell you the day, so they probably already know. Anyways, so because they go and look into my memory to see what I know. They go and project it and stuff like that. They go and project what's there. They want to know, like sometimes they go and like if they're peeping in my mind and they're seeing things like what I'm seeing, like what I know and my memory, like literally they be doing shit like that. That's how dangerous the enemy is. Imagine someone just peeping into your life. And we could do that too. So they're not the only ones that could do that. We could do that too. We could know things about them. We could know a person's whole life without having to ask a question to them directly. You see what I'm talking about? So they're not the only ones who could do that. You heard them right there doing that, right? You see, they just did that, and then I started to lose bearing when I started to say it. You see what I'm talking about? Of course you see it. This is happening in real time. But those are the type of things they would do to prevent me from getting better and annihilating them, because they cannot compete against me. I told you that. Now I'm thinking about smoking weed. Anyways, you see, and like I said, since they're devils, liars, and deceivers, Satanists, Luciferians, whatever they are, right? Because they would go and hide, like if I say they're Satanists, they go and hide behind devil worshiping. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, you see what I'm talking about? Not mutilation. Anyways, so they would go and do stuff like that to try to prevent me from getting better and destroying them, because they can't really go against me when I'm at 100%. They've done it before, and it didn't work. The only time they ever had done stuff to me is when I wasn't focused on them. So if I'm not focused on them, they go and start. It's like they start to work their little tricks and petty ways and shit like that, their antics. And it only works when I'm not focused and fighting back. But like I said, it's like they were just saying that right now. So, it was a lot of them coming at me. They were just putting shamans and influence. You saw the word influence and the sensation of influence. Like if they had influence when I spoke about that, because they said something about it and I started to talk about it, like if they reminded me of it, and because I started to talk about it, that they have influence in it. I'm exposing them, so they're not really hurting me. They're not hurting the message. They're not hurting what I'm doing. They just help me out to expose them even better. So, their plans backfire with me. You see how I know all this stuff? Like, I use it for my advantage. I don't let it get in my way. You see what I mean? Like, so they were sending shamans to see if they could, do something that could help them, be ahead some way, somehow. Because I was destroying them. I was relentless. Like, I wasn't even doing much. Like, just me feeling good was enough to make them go away and disappear. Because when I'm at 100, they literally disappear. They don't come at me when I'm at 100. And if they do, and I notice, game over. I annihilate them. Anyways, so this is so far it's about to be a 30-minute video, 30-minute plus. I don't want to make it too long. I didn't want to make it past 20 minutes, but I gave you a lot of useful information in here. So, because I'm so powerful, now no joke, no lie, I've explained myself why I'm powerful. The enemy had to resort to the lowest tricks that they could ever have, done before. And I mean, like, low, like I said, they would come at me only when I'm in pain. They mostly work their tricks through the pain of my back. Mostly. That is their main way to access my mind, through the pain of my back. The main. Without it, all of that shit they done doesn't exist. Most of it, or all of it just gone, vanished. And if and anytime I notice that there's something going on, I defend myself, but I do it with more, confidence, more strength, more firmness. They wanted me to say the word solidarity so they can have influence again. You see what I'm talking about? So the enemy's literally watching me right now, hoping that you don't watch the video so that you don't learn what's going on. And you guys have to go and tell others and to watch my videos so we could form a resistance in real life against the enemy. Anyways, I made this video a 30-minute plus video so far. So yeah, like it's the truth. We gotta unite against the enemy. We gotta take them out. We gotta eliminate the enemy. Don't lie. Now they're putting the image of a devil. You saw it right now. See what I mean? So they're not the only ones that could do the stuff that they've been doing. And we could do what, our version of what they're doing. Not what they're doing. We could do what our version of what they're doing, because all that imagination stuff, like look, check this out. You see, that was me. I just put the image of me on top of me. They're not the only ones that could do that, and they need technology in order to help them do all of this stuff. We don't. We could do it based on our good and positive energy. A computer is not at the level of a human being, of a human being that knows. And trust me, I know. The computer needs to gather information and make calculations and stuff like that, and do the multiple function stuff. I could do that. At 100%, I'm way more effective than a computer. But since I'm in a human body, and human bodies have weaknesses and stuff like that, sometimes when you're not 100%, you're obviously at a disadvantage against a computer. Maybe, it depends, not all the time. So anyways, go tell people about me. I'm the real truth. I represent the truth. The truth is God. So I'm God in human form here because I represent the truth. The truth is God. Now you know the real truth.